So, has
So,
has Destiny been everything you were hoping it would be, or more?
uh, it's slightly less, but not um, as much less as it seems to be for a lot of people.
How so? From your perspective, I don't care what other
Uh,
people yet.
right. I mean, the thing is that I'm not finished with it yet.
I would hope
Or
not.
not. I mean, no one's really finished with it yet. But I don't like. I'm not even at the soft level cap. Like the soft level cap's 20. Um, so playing through all the story missions and whatnot, and getting to the soft cap takes about like 12 hours, I think. And I have not done that yet. I haven't gotten through all of it. I was hoping for more locations than there are. Really, that's my only complaint. The locations that are there are enormous and extremely intricate, and I keep even the one that was in the alpha and the beta. I'm finding like new stuff every time I just go on patrols and stuff. So it's not it's not it's not like it has no content. It has a ton of real estate. It's just they're really big maps, but there's like 4 or 5 of them. So it's just like I think that number is sort of psychologically just sort of like it feels like that number should be bigger. But each place is gigantic, so it's like you know. Uh, but otherwise, I am having a blast with it. I'm having a blast with it in co-op. I'm having a blast with it when I play solo. I'm having a blast with it in PvP, even though I'm not particularly good at it in PvP. And yeah, I think the moon is one of the coolest looking locations I've ever seen. It actually looks like the moon,
So
or
then why?
what I think the moon would look like.
So then what is it that is slightly underwhelming then? Because everything you just said seems very positive.
Right? Yeah, I think it's just sort of like I was saying, just the psychologically saying like, oh, there's only 5 areas, makes it feel small. But then when I look at it sort of rationally and think about how huge all of those areas are, it's probably bigger than most shooters. But they're open areas, so it's like most games have you just going down corridors forever, where this is just a bunch of little open worlds that do have various tunnels and buildings and things to explore, but it's also far more open.
There has been quite a lengthy discussion in some circles about the reviews for Destiny. And I find it amazing how in certain games reviews don't matter at all, and in other games reviews really do matter. And 2 of them came out on the same day. Destiny, apparently, the fact that there weren't any reviews the day it came out didn't, mean is flag number 1 that they don't matter. And number 2, when they came out, who cares when they've sold, 400 quadrillion dollars worth of whatever, games and stuff. So I find it really funny the significant outpouring of emotion about the reviews of Destiny when they don't matter at all.
No, they don't. They have no impact. They have no impact on this game type at all. And it's not. I mean, it's not quite an MMO, but it's close. I actually think it has more in common with something like Phantasy Star Online than it does with Borderlands, which is what most people compare it to. And games like that, the reviews just don't. Like Phantasy Star Online, people probably got, like 80, 85s, whatever, but the people who got into that game played 2,000 hours of it. So to them, the game was, was like 100 on that would be its Metacritic score to them. But it's but games like that don't review well, right? And that's the problem with the Destiny reviews is one, all the reviewers were pissed off, or not all the reviewers, but there were a number of reviewers on Twitter bitching, oh, we don't get it until the day before, and blah blah blah, and then they have pressure from their editors and their parent company and whatever to get the review up as soon as possible, because if you put the review up in 2 weeks, no one's going to click on it. So they had to basically blast through the game to get a review up as fast as possible, and they already have a chip on their shoulder because of the fact that they didn't get it early. So the fact that the review scores are low, to me, is not surprising at all, given those circumstances.
Meanwhile, a game like NHL 15, the reviews are a huge part, have played a significant part in it. I interviewed Sean Ramjag Singh for the Press Row podcast, which will go out next week, and he directly mentioned him. And he said the team is very upset, basically. Or I don't think he used the term upset, but he certainly said the team, maybe he did use the word upset. Regardless, they don't like to see those scores, and
right.
They do have an impact because people do. I've had people directly tell me that they have made a decision to buy or not to buy based upon certain reviews, and NHL, known for years for being excellent quality, all of a sudden seeing its Metacritic, and I called it a couple, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Being below 70 has been really rough, and I think it does have a direct impact on it. I don't particularly enjoy being a guy who contributes to that. I don't like it. I want every game to be good, and I can't. It's not a good feeling to materially contribute to something like that. I don't like it.
Right. Especially in an industry where, I don't know if it's true with that team, but a lot of teams, their bonus pay is just, it has to do with what the Metacritic score is and whatnot, and it's crazy. And you do reviews for Games Radar, and they are on Metacritic. So how can you not? Let me ask you this: how can that not weigh on you?
It does weigh on you. It absolutely does. It does absolutely weigh on me, and I'm not saying it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. In some ways it's good, right? Because you put more thought into it,
right?
Because you know that it matters. But in some ways it's not good, because I don't want to contribute to somebody not making money that...
Right.
Let's face it, right? NHL 15, I don't believe, and I don't know, I have no specific information to this regard, so I don't want to sound like I know something. But I don't think NHL 15 had all of those modes stripped out of it because the development team said, let's get rid of all this stuff.
Right.
I think NHL 15 had all those modes stripped out of it because it takes a lot of time and effort to move a game up to the next generation, art and assets and AI and all that stuff, and EA, for reasons that may have been completely legitimate, did not give the NHL 15 development team the resources it would need to be feature for feature complete.
Right. We talked about this a little bit last week, just the fact that NHL really isn't a moneymaker for them. So the team developing it is not the same size as the team developing FIFA. And it's not getting the same amount of money pumped into it.
Nor should it, right?
Right.
There's no reason for it to be. That would be a dumb business move to do that. FIFA makes hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. NHL makes a few million, maybe. Or certainly, I don't know the figures, but I would say maybe 10 to 15% of what FIFA generates, maybe.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
But it absolutely weighs on me. Whereas, and I find it so comical with Destiny. It makes zero difference. Metacritic makes absolutely no difference to to Destiny.
Well, also with both of these games, we got to know things before the reviews came out. You know, I mean, with Destiny, I was in the alpha, I was in the beta. I knew what I was getting into. The final game is that, you know, it looks a little bit prettier, but like they had it in a pretty complete state. What they're the chunk that they showed us, so I didn't need a review. You know, and NHL was with EA Access.
Yeah.
It was out 5 days early, and people were saying, "Holy crap! All of these modes are missing."
Yeah.
So that made the reviews matter, because then people were like, "Is the game good enough to overcome the fact that that all of these modes are missing?" And the answer is, it depends how big of an NHL fan you are.
Well, I mean,
and it depends what you want to do with the game.
Right. I had people tell me, I never play online. I like to play by myself and win the Stanley Cup offline. And if that's what you like, NHL 15, you are golden.
And the thing that drives me nuts about Metacritic, I mean, there's a million things that drive me nuts about Metacritic, but I mean, like, you at Games Radar use a five-star thing. We at Dodd Scientifics use a 5-star thing. To me, a 3 out of 5 isn't 60%. Like, if you guys used scoring 1 from 100, would you have given it a 60, or would it have been, 64, 67, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't see those as being the same. I mean, especially like with us, and we're not on Metacritic, and we don't ever want to be on Metacritic, because of, like, for us, a game that's 3 out of 5 is like, it's a typical game in that genre. You know, it's like whatever, Borderlands, for instance. You know, like, I don't think Borderlands is amazing. I don't think Borderlands sucks. I think it's serviceable. It's a 3 out of 5. You know, but I wouldn't say it's a 60 out of 100. I would say it's 70, probably. It's a 7 of 10. You know what I mean? Like, it's, and then when you get into Metacritic, I mean, those 10 points are a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, especially if the developers miss whatever they had to get. They miss it by like 1 point.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, damn it, if we had a different thing, you would have gotten that 1 point. You know, it's like, it doesn't make sense to put all these different, like, I mean, I understand that they're all, factors of this, like, of 10 or of 100 or whatever, but they don't necessarily mean the same thing, and different places review things in different ways. There, if you get a 7 from IGN, that's like crazy low. If you get a 7 from Polygon, that's like amazing, especially if it's a PlayStation exclusive. It's like, holy crap, they gave that a 7. So it's like, I mean, the scoring systems are different too. It's just the whole Metacritic thing is madness.
So what's your plan for Destiny now? I mean, I don't know. I know that there's a long-term roadmap for Destiny. Can you keep playing it? Do you see yourself playing it regularly for the next month, 2 months, 3 months? Is there new stuff coming? Like, what's the Pete Dodd Destiny roadmap look like?
I mean, as of now, it's going to be what I've been doing, which is playing it for a couple hours here or there. I mean, it's not a game that I'm gonna do like a 10-hour marathon on, typically.
Well, you don't do 10-hour marathons on anything.
No, not really. Not anymore. Those days ended when I got married. Not that Arne doesn't want me playing games, but it's there's more stuff to do. But yeah, I mean, I am enjoying it, and I think it's for that reason. I'm not rushing through the game just trying to like shit a review out. I am playing it at a pace that I find fun, and then it's like, and the missions are a little bit repetitive. Like I get that, and that's true of almost every shooter ever. That doesn't let it off the hook, but it also, you know, doesn't mean it's worse than other shooters. But so it's like when it starts to feel repetitive, I switch games and I'll go play Madden, or I'll go play the golf club, or I'll go play Diablo or whatever. They have already outlined like all these special events and stuff. Like the game is going to continue to sort of unlock content for free over time, and there's going to be like raids and big public events and stuff like that. So that will be interesting just to keep people, even the people who binge, like will at least come back for each one of those things, I would assume. And then, you know, really the longevity is going to depend on the value proposition put forth by the expansions. If the expansions are like an area and like there's like 3 missions in that area and like a strike, then that's not good enough. Like, but if it's a decent, I mean, if it's a, even if it's just one area, but that has like 5 or 6 story missions, it has 1 or 2 strikes, it has 1 or 2 raids, it adds 2 or 3 PvP maps, you know, that for $15 or $20 would be fine, you know, especially if it ups the level, you know, and new loot and whatever, all the carrots on a stick that role-playing games do. So that's going to determine long-term, but from now until November, I think I'm going to play it like, you know, I don't know, 5 times a week.
Now, this is a legitimate question. I'm not trolling. I'm not being snarky. I'm really not. And I say this on a regular basis, but I understand the irony of me asking this question or making this observation as a guy who loves to spend hours playing golf, baseball, hockey, football, and basketball. I get it. I understand it. So you can save your tweets. And I'm speaking to you, Pete Dodd. Save your tweets to me. The mean tweet that you just, save it. So I was watching you play Destiny the other day for 15 to 20 minutes, and I saw you, granted, I don't think you were playing co-op, it was just you solo. I saw you run into a big, beautiful area and throw a bunch of grenades and shoot a bunch of aliens, and then you ran into another area, and you threw a grenade and you circled around and shot a bunch of aliens, and you did that for 15 to 20 minutes over and over again. And this was about an hour or two after the sort of announcement that, you know, Destiny had already sold $500 million or something like that. And I was thinking to myself, I don't get it. And I don't mean it, again, in a negative way. I don't understand why the huge, massive buildup when what you're doing looks exactly the same as what I've seen people doing forever. I don't understand. Right. What the huge amount of buildup and it doesn't equate to me.
Right. Destiny does things or combines things in a way that make it interesting. Leveling is a big part of it, which like I know you're not a big role-playing game guy, but now that all of the creative player modes are basically role-playing games within sports games, I think you can understand that. It's like Road to the Show. If someone were to watch you play Road to the Show as like a shortstop, they'd be like, you're just playing games and you get to bat 4 times and you field the ball twice and then you go into the next game. That looks boring, but in your head you're going, yeah, but I'm getting experience points and I'm going to be able to get better at this and I'm going to be able to get better at that. That's the thing that this is doing. I mean, like if you play Call of Duty single player, you're not leveling up, you're not your character's not getting better. You're just going down a corridor until the end. This is about building your character. It's about getting, like when you finally do kill somebody and the random number generator decides that you got a really nice piece of loot, you got a new gun, and you equip it, and you're like, all right, cool, like I got this sweet ass gun now, and those are the things that sort of hook you into this game, where that's missing from a lot of other games. I mean, they tend to have that in multiplayer, like competitive multiplayer, like
Right.
Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatever. You level up, unlock guns, etc. But in single player, really, it only exists in like Fallout and Borderlands.
And, more than a few people, when I tweeted that, basically just like, again, not unhappy, not incredulous, as we've talked about, I'm glad Destiny is doing great. Video games selling well is good for everybody who likes video games. Whether you like that game or not,
Right.
it's a good thing, because that funds the creation of many types of experience. That's just the way that this thing works. But, several people who tweeted back to me, yeah, Mr. Sports Guy, I'm like, no, let's say Madden next year was 20 times better than Madden is this year.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't sell 20 times more. It
Right.
might sell, 5%, 10% more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's where I just don't. Is it like just? It must be some combination of various factors, like next gen console. Kind of, there's been, for the most part, a lack of new games to play. Like, there must be a whole bunch of factors that are making Destiny explode in sales, because it is, while it is, by all account, well, by your account, and I listen to you much more than I listen to anybody who writes professional reviews about this stuff, it does a lot of things really good. So, again, that's where I just, like, I understand that it would do well, but this, like, explosion of revenue around it just kind of threw me. Right. It didn't compute, but
I think, though, you're talking about different sized audiences. Like Madden isn't going to grow substantially if the game improves a ton, because people buy it when it's shitty. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it's the only game in town, and it's like, if you want to play football, you buy Madden. Where shooters, at its peak, Call of Duty was selling, I think, like 25 million copies, and Madden doesn't move 25 million copies ever. So
it's life. Yeah.
There's a bigger potential audience there, but there's also a ton of shooters that come out that don't break like 100,000 because they suck,
Right.
So it's like the best ones, or the ones that people find the most entertaining, at least tend to rise to the top. Not always the best ones. If it was the best one, Spec Ops: The Line would be, selling 25 million, and Call of Duty would be selling like 5 million. But, but I digress.
So I don't know how much I can talk about the thing I'm going to talk about. I was not given an embargo, but I want to be respectful because it's a small thing. But I do want to talk for a minute about a game that I'm reviewing. The review will be out on Tuesday. It's for a game called Murasaki Baby. I had never heard of it before getting the assignment. And again, I'm not going to talk in depth about it. But I had never heard about it, and I had the opportunity to do a review for it. And because, frankly, because Richie needs money, I said, sure, I would love to, and having no idea what I was getting myself into. So after I agreed to the assignment, I did a quick Google search, and I looked up the title. Have you heard of this game, by the way, Murasaki Baby? Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
Yeah,
Okay.
They unveiled it last year, and it got a lot of people like me excited.
Okay.
It has a really unique art style. Like it looked like it uses like the Vita features in interesting ways. But yeah, I mean, it's not It probably didn't excite, like the Call of Duty folks, for instance. But yeah,
Or the
if you like arty indie game type of stuff, or just weird Japanese kind of stuff, that game has been pretty high on your radar if you're a Vita owner.
yeah. So I had never heard of it, and I got the assignment and said absolutely I'll take it, sight unseen, because as I mentioned I need money. And then I Googled it and looked at videos and I went, oh God, I'm gonna hate this thing. I'm gonna hate this thing. It's got this.
I would guess that it wouldn't be a Rich Grisham game, which is why I was surprised when I heard that you were enjoying it.
I looked at. I watched like the trailer, which has this bizarre looking baby whose mouth is at the top of its head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's weird, and when it speaks, it's this weird quasi-computery sound, and it's all puzzles and stuff. I'm like, oh God, what did I do? Why did I take this? I just got done killing NHL 15. I don't want to do this to myself again. And then I started playing it, and I absolutely love it. It is wonderful. Wonderful. And again, I'm not going to talk a lot about it because I'm not under NDA, but I don't want to go too much into it in case, I shouldn't. But oh my gosh, Pete, I love it. I love it. It's so good. It is so interesting. It is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
And normally I'm not big into the weird. Weird doesn't normally do it for me, but for whatever reason, this does. It portrays. There's no dialogue. There is verbal communication, but there's no dialogue. But it portrays emotion and fear and joy and happiness really well. It makes excellent use of the Vita back touch and front touch. Excellent use. And I cannot say that enough. Not like, okay, we're on the Vita, let's use everything we can. Just
right.
Like, this is a game that was designed with the Vita in mind, and it just works great. The puzzles occasionally are difficult, but never get obtuse. I've already finished the game. Like, I went crazy, and I already finished the game. And I absolutely love it. I am shocked that I love it, and I love it.
When I heard it was coming out next week, I was like, holy shit, Sony, you could give us a little bit more warning. I mean, like, I know the Vita isn't that high up on their priority list right now, but people were really excited about the game, and then, they went kind of dark on it, and then they were like, oh, by the way, it's out in like a week. And I'm like, I got this list over here where I'm like, I need to buy this, and okay, I can donate a kidney or something, and like maybe make this happen. And then Sony's like, oh, by the way, here's another game. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, I will say this. Murasaki Baby is very short.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to end up doing, as much as I don't want to do it, is wait for it.
I have a feeling
go on sale or PS Plus within 3 months or so.
Yeah.
And I hate doing that. And I know, like, talking to developer friends of mine, they all seem to be in agreement, especially ones that work on PlayStation games, that they find nothing more offensive than when they're like reading GAF or Twitter or whatever, and someone says about their game, oh, I'm going to wait for this to be on PS Plus.
Yeah, wouldn't you? I mean, it makes perfect sense. I would feel exactly the same way.
It's like, yeah, you're basically saying, like, I want to pay no money or have it be part of my subscription fee, and then when I do get it, I probably will shit on it all over GAF and Twitter and all of that as well. And I can understand why that's frustrating.
But it's awesome. It's awesome. It is so weird and bizarre and beautiful and freaky and scary and weird. And again, I want to talk about it more. There are a few things that it does just so perfectly, and at the end, you really start to just sort of think, wait, what am I actually doing here? Not what am I doing, but
Mm-hmm.
within the context of the game, you think, wait, what am I doing? It just, I still don't know exactly what happened, but wow, it's very powerful. So again, very short, and for me, I love short. I will pay for short. Like I would happily pay money for a short experience because I know I'll actually play a short experience.
Right.
Like I finally got smart and stopped paying for big experiences. Like unless I knew, like with our Madden League or
except for sports games,
the show, I'm going to play these games for a year, right? But I finally got smart. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 was the last game that I knew going in was going to be too big for me, and I bought it. I haven't bought one of those kinds of games since. Not because I don't want to, just because I'm at a time in my life where there's just no way that I can sit in front of a console for 60 to 80 hours and play a single-player game or even a multiplayer game. So
that's another one that Rockstar can go screw themselves waiting this long to give a release date. I'm already divvying up my money. I got it written down. I made this list before, and I'm like, I didn't even love GTA 5, but I want to see it.
Yeah,
I feel like it would be good to write about, like comparing it to, but like I can't justify it. I can't justify it as a purchase.
Every gaming site is going to do that exact same thing.
Yeah,
why do you want to do it? I mean,
that's true.
You played the game.
But I ever since Gus's article on Dot Scientifics has made me want to go back and play GTA Online.
Still there? You can go do it right now.
I know, but I don't have any last gen systems anymore. So yeah, I want it to be my second life though.
So if you're excited about Murasaki Baby, you have every reason to be excited. It's wonderful. And I guess, Pete, that's who I am now. I'm a sports/indie guy, right? Because like other than sports games, what do I enjoy anymore? I enjoy Murasaki Baby. I enjoy Brothers. I enjoy Valiant Hearts: The Great War. Like these are the things that I enjoy now. So
did you play Gone Home?
No, I know I need to, but it's not on the Vita. So that's my.
Right. I haven't played it either, but that's the anti-indie people are just like, if you like Gone Home, you're a hipster, which clearly you are. I mean,
wait a second,
and even more hipster than you.
So
you may like that.
You've called me like 5 different horrible things in the last week, and hipster was not one of them.
They all contradict each other. You're like a cock rock solo, but you're also a hipster at the same time.
Also a very old, sad-looking dog as well.
I just wrote old dog.
Thomas Was Alone, another game I absolutely adored that game. So that's who I am.
The Vita is to thank for your conversion into indiedom.
It absolutely is, 100%. And the Vita, well, I guess it's not an indie game, but I can't remember the name of it, but it's the amazing indie game that nobody bought, or the amazing Vita game that nobody bought that's coming to the PS4. That makes like another game that I just absolutely adore.
I mean, it's not an indie game because it's from one of Sony's studios, but it was made by 7 people.
Yeah, it feels like one.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's who I am now. I'm a sports/indie game guy. So I kind of like that. It sort of knowing that will help me, I think, this fall and next spring sort of pick and choose stuff. And you know, another Max the Curse of Brotherhood is another game of that ilk that I loved. And I'm just so glad that Games Radar, like, when they get backed up and they're like, wow, we have all this stuff, let's call the old Grish dog, you know, let's see if he can do this for us. I've discovered these are games that I would not have played had I not been given these assignments. So it's so awesome that that's happened. I'm glad that they don't think I'm just the Madden dude.
You're also the only person they know that owns a Vita.
That's right. I'll take it.
They don't even have friends or, like, readers that own a Vita. They're like, literally the only person that we know is Rich Grisham, and we got this Vita game, so let's just send it to him.
Yeah, he turns it in every time on time. So, you know, he can't write for squat, but at least we know we'll get it in time to publish it.
That's definitely what happens.
Oh, man, what have you been playing other than Destiny that is worth mentioning before we get into some awesome tweet discussions?
I hate to do this because this is just turning into sports-tifics, but the FIFA 15 demo.
Oh, so good.
I am not having the same orgasm.
You're insane.
I'm not saying I dislike it. And I think part of the problem is that I was reading all of these things about it before I finally went and downloaded it. Because at first I was waiting for the PlayStation 4.
It took a long time.
Because that's the system I'm going to play it on.
Yeah.
You know, and then finally I was like, oh, whatever, you know, and I got it, and I got it on the PC, and I was, you know, like, and by the way, the PC version completely maxed out, looks exactly like the PlayStation 4 version, which isn't an indictment on the PC as much as it is on EA not using the power of the PC to do more. Because I maxed everything, and it looks exactly the same. So I think PC gamers are going to be upset about that because they like to have better. I mean, you know, you spend thousands of dollars on shit. You want your games to look better. I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. I had to, like, once it got into the settings and turned off a bunch of the assists, that helped me. But I'm not, like, I don't know. I love FIFA 14, like, really love FIFA 14.
Me too.
And I think just the fact that this isn't FIFA 14, like, I think once I get used to it, I'll like it more. But it's just like the passing's different. I'm like, oh, man, I used to always be able to make that pass, and now I can't.
Through passes don't work anymore. Every through pass goes to the next to the defense, and that's one of the things that they explicitly said. Like, we've been told that through passes, in particular lobbed through passes, are too overpowering, and we're gonna.
Well, that was the cheese strategy early on in FIFA 14, like, online. That, like, I mean, I never played online, but just reading through threads at GAF or whatever, was like the through pass, you know, like, header basically was like, it wasn't a money play, but it was the best chance to score kind of thing. Yeah. And of course they're gonna get rid of all of that stuff, but there's stuff like, I used to be able to put a ball into space, like, okay, I want to put it there because there's a guy running to it, and, like, I was struggling with that at first with the demo. I'm like, I see where I want to pass it to, I don't know, like, or where I want to put the ball, I just don't know how to do it. You know, but then once I turned the assists off and shit, I was able. I got better at it. Presentation is amazing graphically. When it's pulled back, it looks a little bit better. But once like, all the cutaways and all that shit looks way better. The atmosphere is amazing.
Yeah. The other thing is, I am just so into the Premier League right now. Like,
yeah, me too.
The Premier League is right up there with everything in sports that I love right now. And so it just FIFA means more to me now than it ever did.
Right.
And like when I played the first game of the demo that I played, was forced to be Liverpool, which was awful, just awful. And
I was pretty excited about it.
yeah, I know you're a dastardly Liverpool fan.
At Anfield also, which
yes.
is fantastic.
And I scored a goal to win the game in like the 92nd minute, and the entire bench emptied and tackled Steven Gerrard, and the whole crowd went bonkers and started singing. I'm like, I've never had an experience like that in a game, and this is the demo.
Right.
Like I am. Oh,
yeah, that stuff is all amazing. I like my nitpicking is just like basically I'm better at FIFA 14 than I am at FIFA 15, which is petty, but that happens.
Well, that's the fear with a sports game. When you like it, it's like you almost start to worry about the next year's game. Right? I completely. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it with Madden. Like, we were in a good place with Madden 25 on the PS4. We were in a perfectly good place, and we're in the new league. It started in the new game, and like we're having desync issues and problems. And it's like, here's all this stuff that we didn't. We're just. So I completely understand it, but it's
frustrating. But Madden. I mean, the thing is, like, Madden 15 is a good game. It just has. Some issues.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a good game, I could actually see our league.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's go back to Madden 25.
Yeah,
because that was more fun.
Yeah.
But 15 is a good game, but it definitely has issues right now online with leagues and. I mean, I created a league for like the Dodd Scientifics like. We have a league which is awesome, and one of the many reasons why you should subscribe. And we got really cool people, like Gus Ramsey from ESPN, and Kat Bailey from US Gamer, and Rich Grisham from Rich Grisham, and mixing that in with subscribers, and We created a league, or I created the league. I'm the commissioner. I created the league, and then it was like I couldn't start it.
Yep.
Just could not start it. So then I created a second league, booted everyone out of the first league, and then the second that every single person was out, the start button appeared. And I was like, what the
Yep. No, and believe me, we've talked about our love for MLB The Show a billion times, and the online franchises in that thing are completely borked. Borked.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we just utterly the weirdest random stuff happens constantly. I played a 3-game series against the Tigers, and I lost 2 out of 3, and then I went to play my next game, and all of a sudden I still had game 3 against the Tigers. But all of my guys that I had used in the previous game 3 against the Tigers were all not available because they were all exhausted. So like we played the game in this sort of weird black hole because it didn't register, but yet all the guys were fatigued. So I played the game again and then I won, but it's weird. I don't know. Bizarre. So, but I am all
sports.
I am all aboard the FIFA 15 hype train. Woot woot! I am on it.
I've already paid for it, so nice. I'm in.
We're doing a league, by the way. We're doing a league.
Are we? Like pen and paper?
Well, sort of. We're gonna hang a page on the Press Rub Podcast website, and we're gonna just have 6 to 8 to 10 of us. We're gonna pick our team. And we're just going to play a series of games against each other and just manually keep track of it.
All right. I'm in.
Pasta, you, me.
If I'm invited.
Yeah. Well, if you're a little nicer to me this week, then yes, you'll be invited.
I have noticed I've been picking on you a lot lately, and I don't know why that is.
I don't either. I've been wondering that myself.
I should stop. It's not nice. I like to be nice.
You are nice sometimes.
You ruined the Press Row League.
I did not ruin it. It got ruined by other people, not me.
I'm holding this grudge against you because you ruined the best thing in my life.
Trust me, Pete. It's the best in mine too. Okay. I was literally sick to my stomach for an entire day about Press Row Madden League drama.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Ridiculous.
I should have never gone public with my outrage, but
that's all right.
I had video evidence to back me up, so at least I had that. Anyway, now we're all in joke right now, and viewers are just like, what? I mean, it's not even joke, it's just in drama.
Yeah. Let's get to tweets, shall we?
Yes.
Got some good ones. Now, this is a great one to start off. Anti-Cynic, great guy, hangs around several of our streams on a regular basis. He says...
Anti-Cynic is fantastic.
Yes. He says, Microsoft reported to be buying Mojang for $2.5 billion. Why... ? Is this a smart idea? Not why is this a smart idea? Why is question number one, and then is this a smart idea is question number two. I've talked about it before, but I'm telling you, every single day that goes by, Pete, I am continually amazed at how Minecraft permeates the existence of children.
Right.
My son is 7, and he is immersed in Minecraft. If he could play it all day, every day, he would. And every single one of his friends, boys and girls, we had our soccer game today. They were all talking about their Minecraft experience, and not just like they're conversing with each other. Like, oh, I found these 2 diamonds, and I made a diamond sword, and that way I'm able to go to the These kids know a lot, and they're 7.
Right.
And they are talking about ways to put different things together and tactics to fight monsters and wow, I am blown away.
It's cool too. This doesn't answer the question anyway, but it's cool too because Minecraft is a very different type of game than what we grew up on. Because we grew up, playing Mario Brothers or whatever, where it was you go from point A to point B to point C to point N, and you win. Now, I think a lot of kids, if they were to play something, like Uncharted, they'd be like, why do I have to just keep going this way?
I want to look over here.
Why can't I build a shack over here and then go back and then dig a hole? And, why do I have to go down? And that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
I mean, it opens up their imagination, obviously, and that's awesome. And I think the kid aspect is a huge part of it. Also, a lot of the sort of tech blog scuttlebutt, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I've seen a lot of it, has been that this move has nothing to do with the Xbox division and has everything to do with Windows Phone and Surface, which makes sense, but I don't know. I feel Microsoft a lot of times buys stuff so then they can have it.
Right.
But they bought Skype, but I can get Skype on my Vita. Mm-hmm. They bought Skype, but they didn't limit it to just Microsoft things. So, are they going to do that with Minecraft? Do they just want the name association, like Microsoft Minecraft, going forward, or do they want you can only play Minecraft on Microsoft?
I am. Yeah, I'm always fascinated by business transactions and by deals that get struck. And there are some deals that the minute they're announced, you just know it's not going to work out, right? Remember Time Warner buying AOL or AOL buying Time Warner? You just the second that happened, you're like, no, that is not going to end well. You just knew it.
Whenever there was people talking about buying Yahoo. I was always like, Yahoo's just dying. Why would anyone want to give them that's stupid.
But the other thing is, that I find fascinating are the prices. Like, remember when Facebook bought WhatsApp for a couple of $1 billion and nobody had even ever heard of WhatsApp?
I think it was like $18 billion.
Yeah, I mean, just
It was shitload.
right. So, like, these are very incredibly smart people who put these valuations on these companies, and it gets through committees and double committees and triple committees, and then gets punched through software that is more complex than the machines that landed men on the moon, right? So for anyone to come out and just be like, oh, that's ridiculous, that's stupid, shows that you're completely ignorant. But I do find it fascinating.
There's no way to know right now.
No, there's absolutely no way to know. 2.5 billion could look like a bargain in 10 years.
Right.
Or
it could be the gigantic fucking blunder.
Exactly. Now, if anybody can afford to make a gigantic blunder, it would be Microsoft.
Right. Yeah, they have something like 80 billion or I think it was like 60 to 70 billion dollars cash on hand for acquisitions.
Right.
So 2 billion or 2.5 billion out of that is not a lot of money to Microsoft.
So, I mean, if you have a kid or a grandchild, you know that Minecraft is something that they love, and it makes a lot of sense to own Minecraft because I think it's really, I could be completely wrong, but I just get the sense that it can be exploited for a lot more than it currently is. A lot more.
Of course.
Merchandise, shows, movies, Minecraft 2, Minecraft 3. Now, whether any of that actually turns out to be good or bad, who knows, right?
Right.
But
that's where I get hung up. And like I said before, nobody knows anything. We're actually working together on a piece right now. Like a lot of the writers from the staff, where we're gonna basically be putting out a roundtable if and when this merger is announced, which supposedly it's going to be acquisition. It is going to be announced on.
Did you say merger or murder? Because it sounded like you said murder.
I said merger, but what I meant was acquisition. Or execution, maybe. But so so we have a roundtable, and in that the point is our opinions, right? So like my opinion, sort of spoiler, is I feel like Minecraft 1 is lightning in a bottle. I don't think it can be recreated. I think part of the proof of that is the fact that no serious contender ever came up against it.
Yeah.
Like Notch and Mohang, I don't know how they even pronounce it, created something that just has this magic to it.
Yep.
Where when you play Minecraft clones, it's not there. Yep. And there's a lot of Minecraft clones that do more stuff. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if Minecraft had, flying ships and this and that? And it's like, then you play it and you're like, yeah, this isn't as fun as Minecraft. So, one, the rumor is Notch is gone. Like, he's not staying with the company. Like, he's selling and leaving. But he hasn't been working on Minecraft in forever. It's been Jens Bergman. I don't know. It's really hard to pronounce names from Europe. Just wanted to piss off a whole continent at once there. But like, I could see, like, Minecraft 2 is going to sell a fuckload on day one. But I have a hard time seeing it having legs. You know what I
Well,
mean? It will sell on name alone, but can they recreate the magic? I mean,
do
part of the
they?
thing with Minecraft is that it never ends. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
like
they don't
it's
need
a
to.
platform.
Minecraft has been out for how long?
I think I started playing it in 2010,
Right, and my
2009.
my son is 7, and he just really started getting into it. Like Minecraft, every day, many, many, many thousands of children are discovering Minecraft for the first time, and Minecraft is going to be just as magical to a 7-year-old 5 years from now as it is right now. They don't even need to make Minecraft 2. They don't need to. They can just continue to sell Minecraft as it is on all the devices and platforms that they're selling it on, and they will very likely make lots and lots and lots of money.
Right. Except I happened to go look up because like I said, we're working on this piece.
Yeah.
And I went and looked up and Mojang, that's what I've always called it in my head, so that's how I'm going to pronounce it.
How my son says every time the splash screen comes up, he goes, Mojang! He knows he's about to play Minecraft. Gets very excited.
Mojang made $114 million in profit in 2013.
Profit.
In profit,
Okay.
113 million, which is good.
In 1 year?
I mean, that's exceptionally good for a small indie developer, but 2.5 billion for something that's.
Here's how it works, right? So if you are a software company and you have a product, it is much better than if you're a software company that just has people. That's why a consulting company is only as worth the best people in the company, but a software company that makes a product is worth much more. And typically that product, the company will sell for 3 to 5 to 7 times the value of the overall revenue, not profit, but revenue. So if they're making 113 million in profit, that's probably on 5 to 600 million dollars of revenue, which makes all of a sudden 2.5 billion.
No, the revenue wasn't that much higher. It's like 180 million because it's a small company. I mean, like they don't have a lot of overhead because it's but
so then their profit margins are wildly higher than probably any other company in the world, which makes them even more attractive, which again makes 2.5 billion seem like a non-unreasonable figure.
Exactly. But if Microsoft can't pick up those sales and they sort of start trending downward, like I mean, the feeling is that Minecraft kind of peaked and is going down. I mean, and Mojang's financials sort of show that too. Like 2013 is lower than 2012. I have no idea what 2014 is projected to be. I would expect pretty good since it's with coming to the new consoles as well, and the Vita, if Microsoft doesn't cock block that. By the way, if Microsoft cock blocks the Vita version, I'm done. It's all over at that point.
What are you saying? Are you going to go burn down the Microsoft headquarters, or what does that mean? We need specifics.
Yeah. I don't know what it means. I do not want this to turn up as evidence.
Okay.
I'm okay if they want to cock block the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 3, it won't even show up on a Sony TV. Like I don't care. Like this isn't a Sony Microsoft thing. This is I love the fucking Vita and I want to play Minecraft on it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Microsoft, I mean, well, see, if you're Microsoft, who cares about the Vita, right? Because the Vita is this wonderful little thing that 25 of us love.
It would totally just be a dick move.
Right.
Which is why I'm saying, like, if that happens, I cannot be responsible for insanity defense.
Well, see, here's the thing. right? I don't want it on the Vita because I've been able to reclaim my Vita because now my son plays it on the Xbox 360 and on my old iPad. So if it comes to the Vita and he discovers it, then my Vita will disappear again, and I don't want that.
Right.
So, that is, or so there.
I am. My plan is, because my wife and I both have Vitas, and we are, like 3 or 4 hours from Colorado. Is when it comes out on the Vita.
Oh boy!
Drive over to Colorado.
Here we go.
Go to a legal dispensary. Get a we're just gonna get a brownie. We'll have a brownie. What's wrong with brownies, Rich? There's nothing wrong with brownies. So we have a brownie, go to a hotel room, eat the brownie, play Minecraft, and have it be magical.
That sounds like a wonderful thing. Wonderful.
If Microsoft takes that away from me.
I'm not worried about what you'll do. I'm worried about what Danger Wife will do, because
she's been waiting for the fucking Vita version for a long ass time. But she is now playing the PC version, or the computer. It's on PC and Mac, and her and like 6 or 7 dudes from her job are rebuilding the building that they work in, which is really kind of insane, and at the same time, I'm assuming all 7 of them have a crush on her, because it's like, oh my god, it's just this girl's playing video games with us, and she's we're cute.
Well, let's be fair.
It's hard not to have a crush on her in the first place,
Let's be fair. I have one. I've actually met her in person too, so.
And I'm not worried about her, but it's like, every time she hops on Minecraft, I'm like, at some point, someone's gonna like text you a dick pic, or something is gonna go horribly wrong.
Oh my! All right, Anti-Cynic also asks, will the GTA 5 remaster releasing in November have an effect on other titles releasing in the same month, and to what extent? And I think the honest, simple answer is, of course it will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grand Theft Auto is a monster, and it's coming out in November.
And it will be, again, I mean, like, even, like, it will be by far the hugest remaster, re-release, HD version, whatever. Like, even more than The Last of Us, even more than the Master Chief Collection. Like, I mean, because Grand Theft Auto is one of the biggest franchise, or probably the biggest franchise in the world, and so obviously its re-release is going to kill all other re-releases. It's going to be big.
Absolutely. Yeah, and good on them for waiting this amount of time and doing what appears to be. This is not a regurgitation. This is a true. They're adding a bunch of stuff. They're making it better. I mean, I'm not going to buy it. I bought Grand Theft Auto 5. After about 8 hours, I was disgusted with it. I'm like, I never want to play this again. Like, absolutely nothing.
I'm going to ask for Christmas, I think.
No, it's fine. I mean, I appreciated it for what it was, but, like, I just genuinely disliked every single person in the game. I'm like, why do I keep forcing myself to listen to these horrible people? Ugh. So, yeah, it's good on them for not doing what they could have done, which is basically copy, paste, and then ship it out there. Like, they literally could have done that, but it seems like they're doing a good job and taking some advantage of what the new platforms offer. So good for Rockstar.
Yeah.
And if they sell a couple 100 million copies of it, well deserved. I like this one. This is a good one. This is from Addison Webb. He says, I feel like EA Access has been a great value so far. What are your thoughts? I don't have EA Access on the Xbox One. I'm very lucky in that I get most of the games that I would play early on EA Access for review, or I have. Um, but more people than not tell me that they really like their EA access. And you saying that you think it's a great value so far, I mean, it sure seems like it, right? I mean, you get a bunch of games. They're not brand new games, but you get a bunch of games, and you get to try the new ones out for 6 hours, which, we sort of scoffed at first, but then if you kind of sit back and think about it, 6 hours is 6 hours, you
Yeah.
get to play new games. I think everybody.
There hasn't been as many complaints about the 6 hours once people got it as beforehand.
I mean, you can certainly.
People were like, I'm going to play for 30.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, no.
You can definitely get a good idea for whether you are going to want to keep playing a game after 6 hours. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
and thing that I've also heard quite a bit is I like the vault. Like, I like being able to play these games. Like, a bunch of sports game people aren't going to get excited about playing Madden 25 or NBA Live, but like I've heard people say Peggle 2 alone is worth the value. Peggle 2 is great, and then I've heard people say Dragon Age. I never played it. It's awesome. I never would have played it. So, yeah, I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about EA Access.
Yeah, I have no issues with EA Access as it stands now. In fact, I think it's quite a good value. Like you, I don't have it. And the main reason why I don't have it is just my buying habits. Every single game in the vault I own.
Right.
From Peggle 2. Yeah. Peggle 2, I mean, they just added Need for Speed Rivals.
Really?
Yeah, like I own all of these games already, so that does nothing for me. So, $30 for 6 hours of sports games on the platform I'm not gonna play it on. So if I get used to the controller, then it's gonna you hear that a bit from your friend and mine, Brian Weedeye, Pasta Padre, who, by the way, was going to be on this week. Schedule didn't work out. He's going to be on next week. For those who paid attention to me saying that he was going to be on this week. But he said that, he feels like it controls tighter on like that Madden, at least controls tighter on the Xbox One. And then when he goes to the PlayStation 4, it feels different. Like, I don't even want to get that shit in my head. You know what I mean? And this isn't a cut down to EA Access. This is my own sort of neuroses. But, like, if you don't own the games that are in the vault, or you own one or two of them, it's an amazing deal right now. It's just there is not a game in the vault that I don't own, and all sort of future games that are going to go to the vault, like at some point Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is going to go there. I already own that. At some point Titanfall is going to go there. I already own that. Like, Battlefield 3 is in there. I own that, or 4, I mean, and have premium, and I don't even play it. So it's not a great deal for me, but I see how it is a good deal for many, many people.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Value for your money. Imagine that. Our good friend Sean Green and I just lost it here. Oh, I'm sorry. Our good friend Sean Green and Nick West, sorry, Nick, ask us, hey, Rich, hey, Pete, if you could only play one new game released between now and February 2015, what would it be? And as we've discussed a couple times, I'm having a hard time with this one.
Yeah.
Because if you take sports games and throw them out, I'm sure there's some indie game like, the next Murasaki Baby or the next Great War or the next Brothers or the next Thomas Was Alone. Like, I know Mike Bithell, who made Thomas Was Alone, is working on something that I think is coming out. Yeah.
But I don't think that's until next year.
Okay.
Like, after February. He said February 2015, right?
Yes, he did. So I'm going to have to, I mean, AAA releases don't do anything for me anymore, so I'm going to have to start looking at the non-AAA release list to properly answer this question. So, yeah, I don't off the top of my head have an answer, but Pete, I'm sure you have more than one.
I do, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is I want to say Drive Club, because as I've stated many times, MotorStorm Pacific Rift was my favorite racing game last gen, and it's my favorite racing game ever. I was obsessed with it, and it's the same developer. It's a completely different type of game, so I have a lot of questions. I'm not sitting here going, "This is going to be amazing," because I have many questions about them doing this type of game, but it is a total mystery to me at this point. And the fact that it was delayed a year, and there's just a lot of intrigue with it. Like, the videos of it look just insane graphically, but it's like, if the gameplay isn't there, that's not enough. But that, Evolution Studios has never been just graphics. I mean, the MotorStorm series is fun because the racing model and physics in that game are amazing. So that's the game I'm most curious about. Little Big Planet 3, I love all Little Big Planets. So, but I also know what I'm going to get. I'm in the beta for it. NDA, don't shut me down. But I'm in the beta for Little Big Planet 3. I know what I'm getting with it. Far Cry 4, I know what I'm getting with that. Bloodborne, even though it's different, I know what I'm getting. I feel like I know what I'm getting with that. Drive Club is the game that I'm the most curious about. And I may end up hating it, but I just don't know. And that's what has me, I want it right now. I know people in the beta, and I'm like, why am I not in the beta? Sony hates me. I'm going to yell at.
When's Quantum Break coming out? Anytime?
No. It is slated for 2015, but from people I talked to, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2016.
I'm just looking at
which is what Remedy does.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. They can take their time. I mean, my plate's full anyway. Me spending $60 on a game at this point, I can't imagine what that game would be that would take me away from Madden, Golf Club, FIFA, NBA 2K. Those four things right then and there take up all of my console time and more. But I'm just looking, there's certain things I'm like, all right, I could perhaps maybe look at. The driving games certainly are of interest to me. I love me a good driving game.
Yeah.
But these are games that you got to get good at. You got to sit down and learn. I'm just not sure that I'll have that sort of initiative. And then I look at things there's the Walking Dead Season 2 comes out on PS4 in mid-October. I really liked Season 1, and I haven't played Season 2 at all. I
haven't either.
But I probably won't. And then there's Wolf Among Us, same kind of thing. That comes out. I'm like, maybe, I don't really know anything about that, but...
What about Little Big Planet 3?
I could see that, especially because
just with you and your son.
Exactly, I could definitely see Little Big Planet 3, and especially because I would assume it's got the whole creation thing, and he loves to use those kinds of things. Loves those. The Binding of Isaac. I know that's a darling of many people. I have no idea what that game is about, but that's sort of in the hey, now that Rich is a sports/indie guy, maybe could that be up my alley, or is that going to be like what's
I
that
think you'll
indie
find
game?
it offensive.
Okay, I was going to say what's that game I hated, the indie game where the little boy gets decapitated all the time. What was that?
Limbo.
Oh God, I hated that game. Awful. Is that kind of like Limbo?
No, I mean it's basically like a sort of um, twin stick shooter that kind of looks like The Legend of Zelda, but it's incredibly gross, and there's a lot of sort of satanic, I guess, imagery in it. Just does not strike me as a game that you would enjoy.
And then I know Danger Wife loves Terraria, which is coming out in November. Is that something I would like?
It's coming out in November?
On or
Is it really? Is it
yeah.
cross-buy?
November 11th.
Didn't even know that. I hope I get it for free. Yeah, you would like Terraria.
Okay.
You'd be lost at first. And you'd be tweeting like, I don't know what's going on in this game. But it would eventually click for you, I think.
Okay. Double check. Yeah, it's right. North America, November 11th, PlayStation 4. Then I'm just like, and I was wondering why he chose February, but then it's pretty
There's
obvious.
A lot of games in February.
Well, yeah, The Witcher 3, The Order, and Evolve are all February. So and as is Bloodborne. So
right.
And what's Dying Light?
And Witcher 3 is something I'm extremely excited for, but I've played Witcher 1 and 2, and I know what's happening.
Right.
Like I know what I'm in for with The Witcher 3, even though they're opening it up more. But I still can kind of imagine that. That's why Drive Club remains my answer. It's like I don't know what I'm gonna get with that, so I'm excited to see.
And what's Dying Light again?
Dying Light's a horror game. I don't know. I don't like horror games, so as soon as I hear that description, I just tune out.
So I guess if I could only play one new game released between now and February 2015, non-sports game, I guess I'll go with Little Big Planet 3. And I'm not jumping out of my shorts for it, if that makes sense.
Right.
But I mean I know my son likes.
I think you're gonna enjoy a good number of games between now and February. But I can it's hard to know.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes.
Like beforehand.
Yep. All right. One more before we call it a show. This one from our good friend the JBone29. Awesome guy. He says, is the overhyping of games such as Titanfall and Destiny making it impossible for them to live up to expectations? Of course. Absolutely is. No doubt about it. And then it comes down to, are you a person who can simply enjoy the games because they're fun, or do they have to be the greatest thing of all time that all the hype makes them out to be? And some people can enjoy a game because it's fun, and some people get horribly let down by the hype, and it just all depends on what kind of a person you are.
Right, and that's not like, I agree with you 100%, and that's not a cut down to the people who can't, because I feel like when I was younger, I was that person. I was totally caught up in the hype. And if a game didn't meet the hype, it let me down. These days, I temper expectations quite a bit, and I'm not even chalking that up to age as much as just I mean, it is age because it's time spent playing video games while also looking at the media and everything else. It's age in that way, but it's not like, oh, when you're older you're wiser and I'm a wise old man. I don't mean it like that. It's just after getting burned so many times, you start to go, yeah, you know what, Destiny's isn't, or Titanfall or whatever, both of those games, Destiny's not going to be the greatest game ever. Titanfall's not going to be the greatest competitive shooter ever, but they're both going to be cool and they're both going to bring new things to the table. And you go into both of those games thinking that, then you're like, these games are awesome. Like I love Titanfall, I love Destiny. I mean, like, but if I went into the media hype, like, especially with Titanfall, because Titanfall is the type of game that demos really well, right? So people go to E3 or GDC or whatever, they play 3 minutes of Titanfall, and they're running on a wall, they jump on the Titan, they're punching the Titan's head, they jump off, they get their own Titan, they're doing shit, and then they get up and go, and they go, wow, that's the craziest shit ever. Like that, the game just demoed really well in short periods, which I think got the press going, like, this is going to be the greatest game that ever happened. And it's not the greatest game that ever happened, but it's really fucking good. I mean, it's like, you have to temper expectations, because there is no greatest game ever.
Except the golf club, which is the greatest game ever.
Has that replaced MLB The Show for you? Is the next 6 months going to be talking about the golf club instead of MLB The Show? Because I know a couple people who'd be happy about at least the change of.
I love the golf club so much. It's so mean to me. I miss putts by fractions. Oh my god!
Whenever I stream it, I'm like, someone is going to record this stream, and I can never run for president, because the shit that comes out of my mouth when I'm putting in that game, it's just swear words that don't even fit together.
I just started using the L2 tonight. Oh boy, it opened up a whole new world, Pete Dodd. A whole new world. You weren't
using that before now? Well, I guess that would explain your scores.
No, my scores are still terrible. But now I have even more ways to screw up. But I don't even care. I love it. Like, I don't know if you listened to this week's press row at all, but Owen Good and I were basically yelling at each other about the game. He hates it, and I love it. Mm-hmm. And Owen is used to Tiger Woods. And this is not.
He wants his handheld, and he wants to level up, and
yeah, it just he wants a different experience than it's giving him, which is fine, right? It's just, to me, the experience of the golf club is like playing golf with your buddies. It's not shooting, a 59.
Right. You know what I mean? Unless you're Seamount for Life, aka River City Gamer.
Yeah, and you're banned, by the way, Mr. Shooting I'm literally finishing tours 50 or 60 strokes behind him in 4 rounds.
He's ridiculous.
He's banned. You are done. You're out.
Let's plug his site, by the way. RiverCityGamer.com is where he's from, and he's a dick. So good. So good at the golf club, and he destroys us.
How do you get that good?
It's like he's at like negative 26, and then like I'm at like plus 8, and you're at like plus 11.
How do you get that good? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I mean,
maybe he doesn't drink.
I got no response. I'm going to play it the minute we're done with this show. You know that, right? I'm starting a brand new tour because I finished our latest tour tonight, and I actually had probably the best overall combined.
If you start a brand new tour, is that going to end the other one? Because I'm only halfway through it.
No, the other one is set to expire in 3 more days. You got plenty of time.
Good.
But I think what I'm going to do is now this next tour is going to be 4 rounds of the same course. You know what I mean? Kind of like a real tournament. I'll either do a tour or a tournament.
Do you get to choose the weather effects, by the way?
I don't know.
Because
I don't usually go into that. I usually just find the right courses, and when I say the right courses, I mean courses.
Right.
But what I was thinking of, because the fella, is it the Nelsconi? Am I pronouncing his name right? The guy from the
That's
forums.
that's how I pronounced it in my
He
head.
made a amazing course, and it was the
Yes.
first course in our latest tournament, and I just want to play that course 4 times.
Right.
So I think
That's
then,
that. Yeah, that's awesome.
so I think the next one I'm going to do is going to be that course 4 times, just like they do in
Yeah.
a real golf tournament,
Mhm.
because I'm just hooked on these tournaments, and I love playing it, and then seeing like the ghosts of like 4 guys, like their shots go, and then I do my shot, and then I see them putting, and like it's
The worst is you're setting up a putt and you're getting ready, and then you see the other three balls all go in from far away,
yes, yes,
and you're like,
yes.
and then you hit the stick, and then you miss by like 3 feet. And they're like, why am I so much worse than these people?
Oh, how do they do it? I don't know. And how great is the feeling when you see a ball go right over the hole, and then boop, bounce up, and then keep going? You're like, yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. No, I do that all the time. So
Oh,
you're probably looking at my balls.
I do as often as I can. I really, really am getting better at the golf club. My scores aren't reflecting it, but I'm getting better at it, and I adore the golf club. And
Fantastic.
it's more
An
about this.
amazing value, also
Yeah,
at $35.
so many great courses. And I just started dabbling in the course creator. That thing is awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's awesome. It
It makes you
is.
wonder how that first course from 2 tours ago that used the same tree
How did he screw it
ten
up that
thousand
bad?
times.
That was
Like
awful.
he was just like, okay, one tree. Like, here's a row of trees. Here's a row of trees. It's all the same
Oh,
tree in
so
straight
bad.
lines. Like, the actual course layout was fine.
Yeah,
Like,
just
but it's just the
ugly.
same tree
Yeah, awful.
on both sides.
Oh my God, so bad.
It was something.
So no, I still love MLB The Show. It's still my game of the year, but the golf club is right there with it. And the golf club may surpass MLB The Show. We'll see. Like
It
MLB
could.
The Show came out in May, and it's now September, and I'm playing it almost every day. And I'm playing the golf club almost every day. Like I'm playing these games as much as I possibly can. My problem is I can't play them very much because of reviews, and I mean,
Right.
so. But I play
And
them as
like you
much
said
as I
last
can.
week, you can't play at the golf club while on the treadmill.
Correct. Well, I could, but then my scores would be I'd leave at least I'd get at least 3 or 4 extra strokes.
It'd be shanked all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, by the way, Rich,
Yes.
if someone wanted to play the
Hmm.
golf club with us in our tours,
Yep.
they could go to doddscientifics.com
That's right.
and hit the subscribe button, and for $8 a year, you are part of the community. And we have Destiny clans, we have, well, the
Madden
Madden League's
Leagues.
full.
We got 2 Madden Leagues. Didn't I see an
Yeah.
Xbox One Madden League
Yeah,
pop up?
Xbox Madden League just popped up today, and we have 2 Destiny clans. We have a PS4 and Xbox. That's the thing that I think people probably wouldn't guess about the site is that we actually have a lot of Xbox only people that are into it. They don't believe the like P. hates everything. Though, like I said, if I can't get Vita, Minecraft, shit might change. But otherwise, me and Microsoft are cool. Yeah, and we have basically anything you can play online. Like we're gonna do Diablo 3 hardcore runs. We're already doing Diablo 3. I don't even remember what they're called because I'm not at that level yet. But the high end sort of dungeons that you go into, they're setting those up every day. There's all that and a lot of really great conversations and opposing viewpoints. It's not everyone agreeing, but people, when they don't agree, are talking about the issue and not being like, you're an idiot, or you're an Xbot, or you're a, like they're actually discussing why they think something is correct and why they think the other thing is incorrect instead of just resorting to cut downs.
I go to the forums every day, and I post them almost every day now. I didn't used to do that, but it's a great place to go, and I like it better than any other community out there. And I strongly recommend it. If you enjoy conversations about video games and you want to have them intelligently and be able to participate in a wonderful community in many different kinds of games, go do it. I recommend it.
Yeah.
Got into an interesting discussion last night about Nintendo. Mike Zupan put in a very impassioned piece about his unhappiness about what Nintendo's been doing, and I responded, I thought, respectfully disagreeing, and you and he both respectfully disagreed with that, and it was great. I loved it.
Right.
These are the kind of conversations I don't see happening anywhere else. That's just me. But
yeah, you didn't say, Mike, you're a fucking moron. And you said your piece, and then I responded like saying like, well, this is like I think this is where he was coming from, and then Mike responded that way, and then other people hopped in and they were like, I agree, I don't agree, but at the end, no one was like, it never got to the point of name calling.
Yeah.
It was just like, we have different thoughts on what Nintendo should do.
And what's funny is I'm not even really I mean, I am now. In the last couple of years, I've become I love Nintendo, but for most of my life, I couldn't care less about Nintendo. I didn't play Nintendo games. And I love what Nintendo's doing, and most people who love Nintendo for the last 15 or 25 years don't like some of the stuff Nintendo's been doing. I'm like,
right.
What's the problem? I don't get it. I think it's great. So, but it was fun. It's good. I like it. I like it a lot, and I strongly recommend it. Hey, Pete.
Rich.
I think this has been a show. What do you think?
I think we have we had a start, a middle, and now we're at the end. And we had some laughs. We had some tears.
Couple.
And we had some discussions.
We did. It was fun. It was good to talk to you. How about we do this again next week?
Can't wait. With Brian Weedeye.
Yes.
Definitely.
Good.
Definitely.
Looking forward to
it. We will, like, this weekend we didn't want to delay because he couldn't do it for a few days, and we were like, okay. But if we have to delay next weekend, we will, because he's that important.
And it will all be his fault, 100%.
Yes.
If we delay. All Brian Weedeye's fault.
Awesome.
Well, all right.
Rich.
Thank you, Pete, and thank you, everybody, for listening and for watching, and thank you especially to the subscribers. You guys are awesome. Thanks for making the Dodd Scientifics community the place where I now go for, like, everything. I don't have to go any other place. If I want to play a game with a bunch of cool people, I go there. So thank you. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely. And have a good night, everybody.